Good evening, Facebook Live. Apostle Terrence Lyons of Ecclesia Ministries here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Coming at you again tonight, bringing you tonight's Bible study. Pray that you've had a blessed week thus far and things have been going well for you. We definitely been enjoying some weather and things of that nature. So, say good evening there, sis. Good evening there, Apostle Laura. Good evening, my brother Mike. Good evening, Prophetess Tanisha. Good evening, Overseer. Y'all coming on like y'all ready for some word tonight. I'm hoping you are, because probably ain't gonna do right tonight. So, what's new lately? So I'm sure you've been able to gather from the question right now how much of your previous good is holding you back. And so make a little more sense once I get stirring into the message and into the information, because one of the things that I'm gonna be kind of winging tonight is I'm just gonna take the I've got the points, but I don't have them in any specific order, and that's one of when God's doing it that way, it ain't no telling what's going to happen. So, again, I just want to make sure that everything is going well. So, hopefully everything sounds clear and looks clear. I'm getting ready to rock and roll. So, let's start out with, might as well come in hot. Let's go to Philippians 3:13 and 14. Philippians chapter 3, verse 13 and 14. Ain't no need in half-stepping. Let's just go on and jump in with both feet. Philippians chapter 3, verse 13 and 14. Where it says this. It says, "Brethren, count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before. I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus." Good evening there, Pastor April. I've already put out a disclaimer. I ain't gonna do right tonight, so you just come right on in. "Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing." Now, I might not do nothing else. Some other stuff might get thrown off, but this one thing right here says, "This one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before, and pressing toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus." Now, in verse 14, the fact that it has Christ Jesus, not Jesus Christ, it's saying go after the heavenly first and then go after the earthly. So as you are pursuing forgetting, make sure that what you are intentionally unthinking, you're doing it from the heavenly aspect first, and then from the earthly aspect second, and then walking into that. Because one of the things that you have to understand, this is point number one, one of the things that you have to understand about your mind and your gift, and we're going to be looking at your mind and your gift through good seasons this week. one of the very first things you've got to understand is this. Old good was good for the season that it was in. Good evening, Prophetess Monica. Old good was good for the season that it was in. So what the Apostle Paul is telling us right here, and what I want you to realize is how he says what he says in verse 13 and 14. Look at this right here. Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things. He doesn't say bad things. Let's see, if he had just said, I forget the bad. Okay, different ball game. He says forgetting those things, which is saying, I'm letting all of it go. Forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before. That's why you got to understand, old good was good for the season it was in. That's it. That's what you got to get yourself to the place of being okay with. See, because remember the question, how much of your previous good is holding you back? I love y'all, but I'm coming out swinging already. The problem with some of y'all right now is you're trying to reproduce old good in your present moments. And if you're trying to reproduce old good in your present moments, that means that you ain't even fully focused on your present moment. Now, I love you, but you got to understand something. Even if you're trying to reproduce old good that you used to be a part of, you ain't even the same you that was in place when that old good was taking place. You ain't even the same you. You got new revelation. You got new knowledge. You ain't even you. The you that produced that good ain't even the same you right now. So whatever good you produce right now, watch this, it's going to have all of that back there outdated. I told y'all I wasn't going to do right. I gave you the disclaimer. I'm letting you know. But exactly, Apostle Lord, you got a new attitude, you got new revelation, you got new information, you got more clarified direction. So why are you going to even try to reproduce that old good? Not bad, good. See, but this is one of them tricks that, the enemy was hoping y'all would have never got taught about, that y'all would have never learned about. But oh no. I'm coming out swinging. I'm uncovering everything in this season. And when I get to talking about seasons here in a little bit, I probably am just going to go plumb not right. See, because what you've got to understand, like I said, old good was good for the season that it was in. That's what it was good for. But here's what you got to take into account. If it didn't last, there's a reason why God didn't want it going beyond where it was. See, there's a reason why God didn't want that good going beyond the season that it was in. Ooh. Fire. Somebody. Fire alert. Fire alert. See, what you got to understand is God not wanting it to go beyond the season that good was in should help you to understand why you don't need to be trying to reproduce it now. Because if it was good enough to handle your now, he'd have made sure it stayed in place for your now. Ooh, boy. See, all of what I just said ain't even in the notes. I told y'all, I'm just going to let it flow. I'm just letting it rock. Because what I need for you to get out of this is this right here. Philippians 3:13 and 14 was one of the scriptures I had y'all to look up. I also had you to look up some in Genesis 19. So I want you to go to Genesis 19, and we're going to look at verses 12 through 17, and then we're going to look at verses 18 through 26. So in Genesis chapter 19, verses 12 through 17, because I want to show you this about how to not let your good trap you. Because see, that's what's done happen. A lot of y'all's old good done trapped you. I just wish we could go back to the good old days. No. I ain't trying to go back there. I ain't trying to mess with that. Because, again, if it was sufficient to manage my present days, God would have made sure that it never left. And this is what I want you to understand. Watch this. So in Genesis 19, beginning at verse 12, Genesis 19, in verse 12, is where it says this. It says this right here. Watch this. I'm going to stir it up. It says, and the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides son-in-law, thy sons and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxen great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. Now, understand, before I go deeper in this, good evening, my sister Jen, and good evening, cousin Michelle. Before I go too far into this, I want to show you something. When they go to Sodom and Gomorrah, it's not bad like it's gotten right here. It's not gotten to the place to where it's set to be destroyed when they initially go. So now it's come to a point that God sent angels and said, hey, go in there, tell Lot and his family to get to digging. Because if they don't get to digging, if they still in there, I'm wiping them out too. That's why you got to understand about why it's so important to follow instructions whenever things are going on. So this is what I want you to get. So he goes on and says, for we will destroy, verse 13, we will destroy this place because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out, watch this, and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. So in other words, they rejected him. That's why I wanted y'all to understand that about rejection last week. Be okay with your efforts being rejected. Get to the point to where you're good with your efforts being rejected. No matter who it's by. People close to you, family, whatever. Doesn't matter. You got to get to the place to where you're okay with being rejected. That's why I showed you that about Jesus being rejected. He had to be rejected by the elders, chief priests, scribes, all of those people. I wanted you to see that so that you can understand you're in good company when you're getting rejected. So here we see Lot. Lot's getting rejected. He's getting rejected by the sons-in-laws, all of that. So watch what happens. Verse 16, and says, excuse me, in verse 14, where it says, one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. Verse 15, and when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife, and thy two daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. Now, I ain't got time to deal with the iniquity of the city. That is a whole nother lesson by itself. But I need you to understand what takes place here. The sons-in-law, he don't notice the angels don't tell him to go get your sons-in-law and all of that. Now you down to the bare necessities. You get your wife, watch this, and your 2 daughters. That's it, which are here. And he's saying, and get to digging. So watch this. This is what I want you to get. Here we go. Good evening, brother Clarence and Miss Linda, Sister Linda. So watch this. Watch verse 15. But he says, when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand. So he's still dragging his feet. So you need to see the mercy of God. He's still dragging his feet. They like, look here, we done told you. You best to hurry up. You best to get to digging. You best to get to stepping. So he, watch this, it says, laid upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth and set him without the city. So like, he's still dragging his feet. Well, I really don't want to go. Well, I really just care for them. I really don't want to leave the sons-in-law behind. I really don't want to leave my good neighbor. You best to get your behind out of there. Seeing some of y'all been dragging your feet about some other stuff, some connections, some relations, some people, some whatever. You best cut it. Get to digging. He told you that for a reason. I don't know who I'm talking to with that. Because y'all know I don't play when it come to that. Y'all know when I know it's time for me to tell somebody deuces. Oh, they going to get them deuces. They going to get the snip, peace, holler, love you, ain't got no hard feelings, but you got to go. I don't know where you got to go because he didn't tell me that, but you got to get up out of here. That's all the angels are saying to them. Get out of here. He's showing them mercy. I done told you to leave. I done told you that the iniquity of the city is bad here. I done told you all this. Get to stepping. So he has them to get to stepping. Now here's what I want you to get, because this is vital. Goes on. And he says, Lord being merciful unto him, and they brought him forth, set him without the city. And it came to pass, watch this, verse 17, came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. He said, look, don't even get close. Don't even be close to this city right here. Don't keep meddling. Don't keep playing. Because if you keep meddling and you keep playing around the perimeter, around the edges, well, I'm just going to sit back and see what happens. I told you to go. Don't look back. Get away from here. Matter of fact, go to a high place away from here. He says get to the mountain. Escape to the mountain. Go to a high place away from here. Elevate up higher than what you were here. Oh, that's a word for somebody. Elevate higher than what you were before. I don't know who that was supposed to be for, but I ain't got time. Watch this. Because when he goes on, he gives them specific instructions. Get away from the city. Get out of the city. Don't stay close. Don't look back. Get all of that specific, clear, crystal clear instruction. But y'all know how kids do sometimes. They want to keep messing around and checking the boundaries and doing all that kind of stuff. Watch this. Watch verse 18. Lot still tripping. And Lot said unto them, oh, not so, my Lord. Behold, now thy servant has found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life. and I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die. Boy, what's wrong with you? He telling you, we fixing to rough shod this place. We finna ransack it. We finna tear it down. We finna light it up. And you still talking about, no, I'm scared to go to the mountain. See, this is why I wanted y'all to see this in two separate spots, because the angels are trying to give them clear instruction, clear direction, and give them what's going to have them safe. And then in the other part, they still fighting. Lot's the one that starts out fighting. Lot's the one that starts out. Now, I thank you for all of how you saved me, but I can't go to the mountain. Look at what the rest. Y'all got to forgive me. This tickles me, because once you're actually given the clear instructions, and this is an angel, and that's one of the reasons why I try to be so crystal clear about how I lay stuff out for y'all. He's giving clear instructions, and he's still saying, no, I feel like I need to do something else. Excuse me. I feel like I need to go another route. Watch this. So he says, lest some evil take me and I die. Behold now, this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live. And he said unto him, see, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for which thou hast spoken. So notice what happens here. And this is what I need for you to see. No guile will sometimes give you a pass on the initial instructions, but don't automatically assume that, okay? Do not automatically assume that you having no guile about not wanting to follow the present instructions are going to automatically grant you a pass of the said instructions, because it may or may not. So I'm saying this, you don't need to have any guile, because the good thing about what Lot's doing is he's saying, hey, I'm scared to go to the mountain. Okay, cool. So the angel then says, all right, I won't destroy the city that you're talking about that ain't too far away. But what I want y'all to understand as I'm teaching you this message tonight on February the 10th, 2022, when you give no guile, do not automatically assume that God's going to grant you the pass of mercy in that. If he tell you, boy, girl, what did I tell you? You better get your behind on. Then I'm going to tell you, you better get your behind on. Don't play with that. Give it the no guile. Be truthful about what you truly feel. But if God said, look here, I ain't changing off my instructions. You best do what he told you. Because we don't know what the next step out of that is. Again, I don't know who that's for. I'm just trying to make sure I'm crystal clear tonight. Because what goes on to happen here, and then I'm going to give you this second point. Look at what happens. He says, behold now, this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? My soul shall live. He said unto him, see, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for which thou hast spoken. Haste thee. Watch this. Haste thee. Verse 22. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything until thou become thither. Uh-oh. 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 So, you ask about a different place. All right, cool. But to make sure that you going to hold up your end of the deal, I still can't even follow out my instructions until you do what you said you was going to do. So watch this. This is why this is so crucial. He says, therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. The sun was risen up on the earth when Lot entered into Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. Verse 25 through 27. Watch this. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew up on the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord. That was verse 27. I just wanted you to see Abraham still handling his business, even though Lot is skating on thin ice. Some of y'all got to understand, even if those around you are skating on thin ice, you still need to handle your business, okay? Again, I'm just kind of speaking and flowing tonight because I'm going through these the way that God's bringing them to me as I go, because I don't have them structured. I've got the points, they're just not structured. So watch this. What I need you to understand for this second point, and I'm going to then have you look at Numbers chapter 11, verse 4, because this point right here I need for you to get, and I need for you to get it real, real good, okay? Old bad had some good in it, okay? And that's what I want you to get. Old bad had some good in it. That's what's causing you to be swindled into looking back. See, some of y'all are wondering why you keep looking back at stuff. And that's why. Because old bad had some good in it. See, that's what's swindling y'all into looking back. Because that old bad had some good in it. So since that old bad had some good in it, that's what you done zeroed